Hello, you are watching the MA Module 5 Clinic Training for MA101E, which is the Anatomy and Physiology course. So in MA101E, you will be teaching anatomy and physiology as well as terminology. So the chapters for terminology that you will be in, and the terminology book is a Mastering Healthcare Terminology book. You'll be in Chapter 1, Introduction to Healthcare Terminology. Chapter 7, Male Reproductive System. Chapter 8, Female Reproductive System and Pregnancy, as well as Chapter 14, the Endocrine System. These chapters will correspond with the next book, the KINS Medical Assisting Fundamentals book. And those chapters will be Chapter 2, Anatomy and Physiology Basics. In this chapter, you will only be referring to pages 18 through 24, and that section is going to deal with body positioning terminology and cavities and directional terms. You will also be in Chapter 7, the reproductive system, and that will include male and female reproductive, as well as Chapter 14, the endocrine system. You probably already noticed that this is a very busy module. There's a lot of information that's packed in this module, so keep that in mind when you're assigning assignments to your students, as well as lecturing, that time is a consideration. Whatever students can do at home or online, reading and SharePath, I suggest that they do that outside of class to allow you time to say what you need to say in your lecture and to give you time to get across the information that your students will need, because you will be teaching other courses along with this course. I will let you know from experience that the endocrine system is probably the hardest system for your students to remember and to grasp. Keep that in mind again when you're presenting this system, to try to keep it as simple as possible, while at the same time getting the information out to the students that they're going to need. They will need to spend some considerable effort in this course, in their book, and studying. So keep reminding them of that every day. With that said, there are some resources for your students to use. The first one would be the Mastering Healthcare Terminology resources. They can use these resources anytime with an internet connection anywhere, as well as the KINS Medical Assisting Fundamentals resource. Make sure that they are clicking on these resources on the first day to open them up farther into the module. If they do not do this, they're going to get errors when they try to access their fund resources, and that can be frustrating for students. There are Quizlets available for students to use inside and outside of class, as well as the SharePath program. They must read their course syllabi on the first day of the mod to help them know how to plan their time for this course. There are some resources, extra resources for you if you find that you have time with a smaller class, or your students really need the extra work on these subjects. You can choose to assign these as grades, or you can choose to assign these and go over the answers together in class. However you see the most benefit with these assignments, you're more than welcome to use, or you do not have to use them at all. There are 2 course a row that will be required in this module. As with all of the Canvas shells, the online weeks will come first, and those weeks will change depending on if it's the day or the evening class. And then there are the days that will be listed afterwards. So the days are broken down into sessions. All of the assignments and the tests are going to match both programs. The activities can be used as extra practice, extra work, depending on the time that you have. These are optional. These are not graded. Students can work on these later. So please remember, keep in mind that you have a time constraint in this module. You do not want to spend all of your time having your students work through activities that they may be better served using this time at home or outside of class to work on. And then here are the assignments. There are embedded videos here for you to use if you so choose. I think they're very, very helpful in giving students a picture of what these conditions are like and the struggles that these patients have that experience these different diseases and conditions. You will be covering the male and female reproductive system, which can bring up some topics in class that may be a bit sensitive. Remember to keep your students using professional language, using their medical terms, and asking appropriate questions for class. We'll be going over some obstetrical terms, and again, there are some subjects in obstetrics that can be disturbing to some students, so be sensitive with your delivery of these topics. Plenty of practice material for your students. Again, they are going to have to spend some time on their own studying and working through these chapters. There is a medical terminology test as well as a reproductive system test in this module. I have also included a few discussions for students to share on certain topics. So you will have hybrid and on-ground students working through the same discussion at the same time, which will hopefully benefit the students and bring up some extra dialogue and some deeper understanding of the material. So with that, I hope you found this video helpful. Remember to read through your chapters, work through the assignments and activities, go over the tests for yourself, make sure that you are prepared and able to answer the questions that the students have to ask. I find it very helpful when I'm reading through anything that I have to present in class to keep in mind that as I'm reading, what questions, if I were a student, would I ask about this section of text, or what may I not understand about this part of the chapter, and that does help me prepare and expand maybe an explanation of a certain subject in an area. So thank you for watching, and have a good rest of your day.